Now going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy going on what stopped Trump from firing the government bureaucrats, going viral, getting 1.5 million views. Now this is thanks to his individual Twitter account where I guess nowadays, this is a little disappointing. They changed it from tweet to now a post. So now I just post on the X, although their URL is still twitter.com. They are really pushing that branding hard to get rid of you no longer tweet, you just post. Oh, maybe I'm nostalgic, but this doesn't sound as cool or hip as the youth might say. Now, this comes straight from Vivek, and he says, quote, the number one obstacle that stopped Trump from firing bureaucrats, civil service protections. He'd have faced millions of discrimination and political retribution claims and been stuck in court forever. Here is the solution, randomness. Non-discretionary firings are legally defensible and avoid civil service rules. Fire 50% of federal bureaucrats immediately using a neutral metric. Example, if your social security number ends in an odd number, you're fired. If that sounds too random, that's exactly the point. No bureaucrat can allege their firing was discriminatory or political retribution. This is how we can downsize the government by 50% day one with 100% certainty of winning in court. Absolutely nothing will break as a result. Shut it down, unquote. We shut it down in all caps. And again, within about 36 hours, it got 1.5 million views and 21,000 likes. Now, this will gather a lot of support, especially, I think, with a lot of libertarian voters, a lot of people in the middle who feel the government's just become too bloated and inefficient over time. But you're also alienating the largest employer in the U.S., which one of, if not the largest employer in the U.S., is the federal government. They literally have, well, how many? Let's get a number so we can actually be precise in this really quick. Let's see here. I don't know. Although, interestingly enough, every time there's a government shutdown, I can't help but notice nothing in our lives really. There's really no disruption in service. Now, let me know in the comments if you ever experience anything when there's a government shutdown. Let's see here. So this is from Release, largest government employee survey. This is opm.gov. They're saying, quote, our agency builds, strengthens, and serves a federal workforce of 2.1 million employees. Now, opm.gov also has another statistic. 2% military, 12 government employees. That is a lot. How many federal employers are there? 2023. They have the government employees by state, but I'm looking at another website, worldpopulationreview.com. So that is a huge voting block. Now, historically speaking, it would also, I don't know, he's probably not going to alienate all of them, but also historically speaking, if you're part of those 2 million employees, presumably you would vote for the party that just votes to increase your salary, increase your budget time and time again. So the odds of him ever winning those votes probably are infinitesimally small to begin with. But interestingly enough, let's go to the comments and see what people have to say. Moderate to severe says, quote, the slightest whiff of Thanos to your idea and I kind of like that, unquote, getting 2,000 likes. Just Red Pill Me says, quote, I hope Vivek Ramaswamy starts calling this approach the Thanos approach strategy in his interviews. On day one of my term, I will snap my fingers and eliminate half the bureaucrats in Washington. Much easier to catch with that association. Gave 1.1 thousand likes. Someone by the name of Sierra Sky says, quote, the government so corrupt now that they'll just sue you for something else. And if they can't find anything else, they'll invent it. These are wonderful ideas. I'm quoting 211 likes. Someone by the name of Eric Radel says, quote, I'm 100% on board with this and not a single beat will be missed, a single ball dropped. Suggest a 2-second random round every 6 months of digesting the first, unquote. Getting 152 likes. 2V News says, quote, man with a plan, unquote, getting 330 likes. Dark Mega Trump says, quote, would be better to fire 75%, honestly, unquote, getting 816 likes. Let's see. Vanessa Harris says, quote, are Congress included in this? Please let Congress be included in this, unquote, getting 166 likes. But no, the number of people in the House and the Senate, I think you need a different legal mechanism if you want to change those numbers, which would be a huge topic in and of itself. Mr. John Lonsdale says, quote, "This isn't actually a rather clever idea. I suppose they would apply for their job back if they're amazing, unquote," getting 446 likes. Captain Obvious says, quote, "Man, I wish you'd and Trump team up and completely overhaul this corrupt government," unquote, getting 521 likes. So in terms of the ratio, well, he won in that regard. Well, no, I guess there's a couple contrarian ones. Someone by the name of Maggie's Dead says, quote, "I want to make my airplanes lighter, so I take out every other rivet," unquote, getting 55 likes. Which technically would make your plane lighter, and perhaps isn't the best. I mean, they used to do that with drag cars all the time back in the day with hot rodders. They would drill out a bunch of the panels and some of the frame, which it did make it lighter. It achieved that goal. But this person is perhaps, I'm inferring that this person is trying to, their inference is that there would be a lot of turmoil and it wouldn't be as effective as they think. Though I think I could also argue there's nothing more ineffective than the current setup, but that's just me. Another contrarian says, Adam Schroeder says, quote, "Is anyone taking this guy seriously?" I'm quoting 23 likes. Wayne Vong says, quote, "Ironically, Trump faced political retribution and may be in court forever," unquote, getting 12 likes. Chuck Rogers says, quote, "Your campaign is based on nothing but the promise of revenge and racial grievances," unquote, getting 51 likes. But again, let me know in the comments, says, I haven't really heard of Vivek saying anything in regard to race. In regard to that. Interesting. Young Patrick has a unique idea. Mr. Young Patrick says, quote, "Hear me out. What if you divided an acre in two halves, labeled even and odd, and let a cow out in the middle, and whatever side it defecates in first, the people get fired," unquote, getting 56 likes for that idea. Daniel Walls says, quote, "You are so weird, and yes, this will land you in court," unquote, getting 37 likes. Healthy Skeptic says, quote, "Vivek is also a really bad lawyer. Really bad if he thinks this is a solution," unquote. 34 likes for that particular statement. Although Valerie, below that comment, says, quote, "This is the answer," unquote, gets 76 likes. Jungson Chan Trading says, quote, "I don't care if Vivek is Hindu or whatever, make this man vice president or president. Trump Vivek 2024, unquote, getting 35 likes. Luke Zalski says, quote, "Vivek wants to fire your family members and friends and control your government and pay private sector companies to control your life for his country club hedge fund douchebag friends, America. He's never taken an oath or served anyone or even had what you considered a real job," unquote. Getting 75 likes for that statement, which maybe he's never had a real job. He built a business from the ground up. That quite literally is the OG job, the entrepreneurship. And I would also argue we could probably use a lot more private sector taking over responsibilities for the government, because again, they're just in many regards just wholly inept and inefficient. Let me know in the comments if you can name one government program that's been so successful that actually eliminated itself. Granted, that could also be said for some nonprofits as well. But looking at all the comments, looks like overwhelmingly popular, even though there are a couple contrarians. Let me know if you think this will help propel him to become the Republican nominee, or do you think this might be the detriment and it might alienate some of the prospective voters who would have gone for him originally? Let me know. It'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, again, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you have any other comments on how we can make the show better, I appreciate the feedback if you put them in the bottom of every video, or you can send me a message on YouTube, or if you hit me up on the Twitter, or as 18 people call it, the X, at The Topping Show. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.